Time now for the Muletrain News Program on this Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. Brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. Megan Lamb Reynolds, 81 of Muleshoe, was born in Lubbock on January the 26th, 1943, to Gilbert Peyton and Olabelle Singleton Lamb, and died peacefully in her home on February the 4th, 2024, here in Muleshoe after a long battle with Alzheimer's disease. Memorial service was held Thursday, February the 8th, at the First Baptist Church of Muleshoe, with Dr. Stacey Connor officiating. Burial followed in the Tahoka Cemetery. We did live stream Mom's funeral services. That's why we had it at First Baptist Church, because of their excellent live streaming capabilities, and you can see it available on demand, free of charge, on the front page of our website, muleshoetv.com. Now, if you haven't watched it yet and you knew Mom, I suggest you go watch it, because that was a wonderful memorial service head up by Dr. Stacey Connor, but also officiating, singing, and reading the obit. We had Brother Jeff Kaufman from Calvary Baptist Church, Curtis Shelburne from 16th and D Church of Christ, Father Sergio Leal, of course, and also Pastor Dave Maccabee from the Methodist Church, all participated in that program. Magan began her broadcasting career hosting the Teen Time Parade program on her father, Gil Lamb's KMUL radio station as a teenager. In 1956, she graduated in the Muleshoe High School class of 1961. She then attended Texas Tech for 2 years. She graduated from West Texas State University in 1965 with a Bachelor of Science degree. Megan moved back to Muleshoe after college to work at KMUL with her father. She met the love of her life, Jack Reginald Reynolds, at that time. They married under a large canopy of willow trees in the backyard of Thurman and Marie White's home on June the 10th, 1967. Many years before, Marie had planted the trees for Maggie to marry under. In 1980, Magan and Gil moved their programming, including the flagship program, the Muletrain News, from KMUL, transforming it into a television station on Muleshoe Antenna Company's cable Channel 6. They launched Gil-Am Advertising, where she continued to broadcast until the cable's demise in 2019. Gil-Am died on November 2nd, 1990, and Magan continued the business. In 2010, MuleshoeTV.com website was launched, along with a Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter presence that offered all of the business's content free of charge and on demand. She voiced decades of Muletrain programs that covered Muleshoe, her activities, and her people. Magan interviewed thousands of people over her 65-year career, from school children attending their first day of school to politicians to neighbors helping neighbors. The business began garnering regional and national news attention in the mid-1980s, and Magan was featured over the years in People magazine, CBS Sunday Morning, NBC's Today Show, CNN, the Houston Chronicle, the Dallas Morning News, the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Japan's Nippon Television, among many others. Gil-Am Advertising was named the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce Business of the Year numerous times during her career, and she was honored as the Woman of the Year several times, including in 1992 when then-Governor Ann Richards presented her the plaque. She was an active and loyal member of the First United Methodist Church in Muleshoe for over 70 years. She loved and took part in teaching Sunday school and in the KFC program, missions committee, and the daycare program over the years at the church. In the early 1980s, Magan and her dear friend Ruth Hall headed up guiding the newly formed Muleshoe Heritage Foundation to get a strong foothold, where they spearheaded the Santa Fe Depot and the Janes Ranch House buildings being moved to the west edge of town to the Muleshoe Heritage Center. Gil-Am Advertising hosted numerous TV fundraising events for the Muleshoe Heritage Foundation, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for the organization over the years. Maggie loved God and her family dearly, and Julia and Isla, her granddaughters, were especially the apple of her eye. She was preceded in death by her husband, Jack Reynolds, in 2015, her parents, Gil Lamb, in 1990, and Olabelle Lamb in 1967. She is survived by her sons, Gil Robert of Muleshoe and his girlfriend, Kelly, Peyton and his wife, Alicia of Wimberley, and their daughters, Julia of Fairfax, Virginia, and Isla of Wimberley. and Grayson of Dixon, New Mexico, and a stepsister for Antonia Jackson of Albuquerque, her beloved cousins Pam Wallace and her husband Billy of Clovis, and Chuck and Susan and Morgan Purdy of Austin, her amazing friends John and Ruth Hall, Royce and Carolyn Turner, and David and Liz Tips. Thanks to the many community members who helped with Magann's care over the last few years, including Access Care Hospice. She was in hospice for 1 year and 1 month with Access Care Hospice. And also, I printed out some more people that we would like to especially thank that helped out before her death. Linda Elder drove her many times to Bible studies and Sunday morning worship services at the Methodist Church, and thanks to the Lutz family and all their help. Of course, John and Ruth Hall, they brought many meals. They came and sat with Mom numerous times. That took Mom to the doctor once or twice when I couldn't do it. Carolyn Royce Turner, they brought tons of food and meals. They sat with Mom, and we got a wonderful meal from Tanya Poole and Chris and Gina Martis. Joe and Gayla Gear helped out with Mom with a lift chair, and Angela Carter, who was the minister for a time, 2 years, while Mom was struggling with Alzheimer's. She came many times and prayed with Mom and talked with her. Sharon Regal helped out, and Alice Lyles brought several meals that were excellent. Billy and Pam Wallace, her cousins in Clovis, and Helen Cook sat with Mom several times. Anyway, too many people to really go into much more detail. We would like to thank, but we were overwhelmed after she died on that Sunday morning, February the 4th, with food and cards and memorials and flowers. And thank you so much to First Baptist Church for hosting so we could live stream, as Julia could not make it back from Virginia from school. So we live streamed it there for her. And Dr. Stacey Connor eulogy was just absolutely amazing. And like I said at the first, if you haven't watched that memorial service, it's available free of charge on demand on our website, front page muleshoetv.com. And please keep our family on your prayer list today. Chapel service for Danny Wolfman Sanchez, 58 of Muleshoe, was held yesterday at noon, February 21st, at the Ellis Funeral Home Chapel, with Sergio Leal officiating. Burial followed in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Daniel died Friday, February 16th in Lubbock. He was born November 22nd, 1965 in Plainview, to Arturo and Mariana Sanchez Murillo. Danny loved to work security with his brother Ralph. He was a great friend to all and was very social. He was also an avid Dallas Cowboys fan. He enjoyed doing lawn work and being outside whenever he could. He loved to take pictures. He is preceded in death by his father and his sister, Ramona Murillo Bustler. Daniel is survived by his son, Steve McAdoo, and Corey Rocky of Brooklyn Park, Maryland, a daughter, Samantha Sanchez of Lubbock, his mother, Mariana of Muleshoe, two brothers, Ralph Sanchez and his wife, Maria of Muleshoe, and Arturo Murillo Jr. of Muleshoe. One grandson, Axel McAdoo, survives him as well. The family suggests memorials be sent to the Muleshoe Senior Citizen Center, P.O. Box 292, Muleshoe, Texas 79347. Online condolences can be made at ellisfuneralhomes.com on their website. Church service for Maria Juarez Villegas, 66 of Muleshoe, was held Monday, February 19th at the Immaculate Conception Church, with Father Mercado officiating. Burial followed in the Muleshoe Memorial Park. Maria died Friday, February 16th in Lubbock. She was born August 3rd, 1957 in Los Salados, Mexico, to Catarino Anguiano Juarez and Maria de Refugio Villegas. She married Teodoro Tellez in Clovis, April of 2016. Maria was always happy. She loved music, dancing, to be out and about. Maria was a social butterfly and made the best gorditas. She enjoyed novellas and sunflowers. Maria loved her kids and grandkids. She babysat for many families in the area. She was a member of the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church in Muleshoe, and she is preceded in death by her parents and three brothers, Alfredo, Manuel, and Jesus Anguiano. She is survived by her husband, Teodoro, her son, Ricardo Reyes of Juarez, Los Ricardo Reyes Juarez of Las Vegas, Nevada. 4 daughters: Rebecca Reyes Juarez of Mexico, Elizabeth Reyes Juarez, and Alejandro Gutierrez Yasso of Muleshoe, Nancy Ramirez and her husband Claudio of Muleshoe, Mauricio Sigala of Clovis, 2 sisters: Amelia Cruz of Mexico, Lidvina Juarez of Mexico, a brother, Nicholas Juarez of Mexico, 15 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren, all survivor. Please keep the family of Maria Juarez Villegas on your prayer list today. Church service for Leo Chavez Jr., 83 of Muleshoe. It was held February 2nd at the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church with Father Mercado officiating. Leo died Tuesday, January 30th in Muleshoe, was born June 9th, 1940. In Colorado to Leo and Annie Cruz Chavez Sr. He married Olga Melendez in Muleshoe on October 14th, 1962. Leo was a farmer and rancher. He also did custom hay hauling, hay baling, swathing, and hauling. For over 50 years, Leo retired to become the babysitter. He loved his grandkids and was always there for his family. Leo believed more in his family than they did in themselves. He pushed them to be the best at everything. Leo was an avid Kansas City Chiefs fan by way of his wife. He was a member of the Immaculate Conception Catholic Church. He was preceded to death by a daughter, Gloria Chavez, his parents, 2 sisters, Rosanna Chavez and Josie Ovalle, 4 brothers, Roberto Chavez, Simon Chavez, Cecilio Chavez, and Rosendo Chavez. Leo is survived by his wife of over 60 years, Olga, 3 sons, Cecil Chavez of Muleshoe, Leroy Chavez of Alice, Fred Chavez and his wife Maria of El Paso, a daughter, Gloria Chavez Agundes of Muleshoe, 4 sisters, Beatriz Campos of Muleshoe, Barbara Fuentes and her husband Nino of Texaco, Rosanna Gloria and her husband Ruben of Muleshoe, Rachel Lopez and her husband Mike of Lubbock, 2 brothers, Juan Chavez and his wife Sandy of Muleshoe, and Benny Chavez and his wife Rosalinda of Muleshoe, 14 grandchildren, 23 great-grandchildren, and 3 great-great-grandchildren all survive him. The family suggests memorials be sent to the Muleshoe Meals on Wheels program, 300 South 1st Street, Suite 110, Muleshoe, Texas 79347. Online condolences can be made at ellisfuneralhomes.com. Church service for Jerry Lee Bruton, 72 of Muleshoe. Officiating burial followed in the Bailey County Cemetery. Jerry died Wednesday, January 31st in Lubbock. He was born February 6, 1951 in Muleshoe to John and Jewel Dean Martin Bruton. He married Margaret Peggy Egar in San Diego, California, June 8, 1981. Jerry served in the U.S. Navy during the Vietnam War. He was a lifetime member of the VFW and a commander of the American Legion. Jerry was a member of the Muleshoe Volunteer Fire Department, was on the Bailey County Cemetery Board. He brought joy to many kids' lives during the Christmas season by playing Santa Claus. He loved to help coach his grandchildren. Jerry was an avid Padres and Chargers fan. He was preceded in death by his parents, 2 brothers, Johnny Bruton and Jackie Bruton, a sister, Janice Till, and a great-grandson, Jesus Marquez Jr. Jerry is survived by his wife, Peggy, his 3 sons, Joseph Hasley and his wife, Concepcion of San Diego, California, Mike Hasley and his wife, Roxy of Sudan, and Lauren Hasley and his wife, Christine of San Diego, California. 4 daughters, Teresa Hasley of San Diego, Darlene Parmalee and her husband Steve of Aberdeen, Washington, Laura Pumpkin Nelson and her husband Jimmy of San Diego, Sherry Vasquez and her husband Mons of Denver, his sister Judy Griswold, his brother Jimmy Bruton, 19 grandchildren, 20 great-grandchildren, and 1 great-great-grandchild, and many extended family and friends who called him Pops and Pop Pop. The family suggests memorials be sent to the Muleshoe Volunteer Fire Department, 215 South 1st Street, Muleshoe, Texas, 79347. Online condolences can be made at ellisfuneralhomes.com. Please keep the family of Jerry Bruton on your prayer list today. He was a great, great guy and will be extremely missed here in Muleshoe. Ingle Gatewood, 87, of Hamilton, passed away on Thursday, February the 1st, 2024. Ingle was born Friday, October 9th, 1936, in Crowell, Texas, to his parents, Larlis and Beulah, Gatewood. He began his lifelong career in the printing industry, working at the Muleshoe Journal at the age of 13. After graduating from Muleshoe High School, he served a brief enlistment in the United States Navy. After returning from the Navy, he married the love of his life, Nelda Ott, on February 28, 1958, here in Muleshoe. Gate continued his career in the printing business by working for the Muleshoe Journal, the Abilene Reporter News, the Temple Daily Telegram, the Belton Journal, eventually leading to the opening of Hamilton Printing that he and his son co-owned for several years. After working in the printing field that he enjoyed for over 70 years, Gate finally retired in 2023. Anyone who knew Gate knew that he was the most loving spouse, father, grandfather, great-grandfather that a family could ask for. He was determined and very successful in providing for his family and gave them the life he felt they deserved. He made sure his family knew they meant more to him than anything else in the world. Gate is survived by his daughter, Jerry Tyler, and husband Eddie of Belton, son Mark Gatewood of Salado, and son Keith Gatewood, and his wife Adriana of Hamilton. He is survived by 5 grandchildren: Lindsay, Tyler, Zernial, Amy Jo Boring, Kyle Gatewood, Alan Gatewood, and Allison Skinner. 6 great-grandchildren: Kensington, Bennett, Shepard, Ruth, Madeline, and Lawrence. As one of 6 siblings, he is survived by his sister Linda Magnan and husband Mark. Pallbearers will be Alan Gatewood, Kyle Gatewood, Ross Skinner, Cameron Boring, Mark Magnan, and Doug Hamilton. The funeral service was led by Pastor Andrew Sobedes at Calvary Baptist Church in Hamilton on February 6th. The graveside followed at Blue Ridge Cemetery in Hamilton. Please keep the family of C.L. Ingle Gatewood, 87, of Hamilton, keep the Gatewood family on your prayer list today. Well, it is time now for the weather forecast, brought to you today by Allen Mount Insurance. Amber Richardson, the agent here in Muleshoe with Allen Mount, your small town insurance agency. Allen Mount Insurance Agency specializes in auto, commercial, trucking, SR22s, business, and personal insurance. They're your authorized Dairyland agency, but they can get quotes from multiple companies. They also offer Mexico insurance. Say habla español at Allen Mount Insurance. They're located at 1702 West American Boulevard right here in Muleshoe. You can call the office number, 806-272-7666, or Amber's cell is 806-566-5590. They're in the office Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m., closed Saturdays and Sundays. Allen Mount Insurance Agency, your small town insurance agency specializing in auto, commercial, trucking, SR22s, business, and personal insurance. Say habla español. Again, call 806-272-7666. Amber Richardson, the agent at Allen Mount Insurance, 1702 West American Boulevard, insuring Muleshoe and all of Texas. Well, it's been a roller coaster here over the last several weeks in the Muleshoe area and the whole South Plains and Panhandle regions. As yesterday it got up to 82 degrees on Wednesday. That is crazy for the winter months here in February in Muleshoe, but 82 degrees, the low was 31. It was an extremely windy and nasty, dirty, dusty day out yesterday, though. Our highest wind gust was around 249 yesterday afternoon and hit 54 miles per hour here at the Muleshoe Mesonet Station. The Earth Mesonet Station had a high wind gust of 46 miles an hour at 2:57 p.m. So far in the month of February, we have 3/10 of an inch of rain here in Muleshoe. And not rain, moisture, because most of that, of course, came in a snowfall, a beautiful, beautiful snowfall that we had on Super Bowl Sunday, February the 11th. Beautiful snowfall. We had about 4 inches here in our backyard, but I heard all types of numbers around us, including more like 8 to 10 inches south of town and 14 inches around Plainview. But a beautiful snowfall on Sunday, February the 11th. But looking at our forecast going forward, another warm day on tap for Thursday. Sunny, high near 65 degrees, but not quite as warm. North winds much calmer, 10 to 15 miles per hour this afternoon mainly. Tonight, mostly clear, low around 34. Northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then Friday, tomorrow, sunny, high near 64 for the Muleshoe area. Light and variable winds becoming southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour Friday afternoon. Friday night, mostly clear, low around 33. West-southwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny, high near 73. Southwest winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Saturday night, partly cloudy, low around 43. Southwest winds 15 to 20 miles per hour. Sunday, looking at a mostly sunny day. Another really, really warm day, high around 79 degrees. But, of course, with that, those warm temperatures here in the winter, it looks like they always come with windy days. Breezy conditions Sunday. West winds 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusts as high as 35 miles per hour, especially on Sunday afternoon. Sunday night, mostly cloudy, low around 47. West winds 15 to 20 miles per hour, decreasing to 10 to 15 miles per hour in the evening. Winds could gust Sunday evening as high as 30 miles per hour. Monday, look for another very warm day and patchy blowing dust in the afternoon hours. Partly sunny, high near 78. Windy with the west wind 15 to 20 miles per hour, increasing to 25 to 30 miles per hour in the afternoon hours. Winds could gust as high as 40 miles per hour. Monday night, patchy blowing dust before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy, low around 52. Tuesday, patchy blowing dust again, partly sunny, high near 72. Windy conditions Tuesday into Tuesday night with patchy blowing dust, partly cloudy, low around 34. Wednesday, another breezy day, sunny, high only about 57 though. So looking at some very warm days and some windy days ahead, but today will be calmer conditions, high 65, north wind 10 to 15 miles per hour. Then mostly clear tonight around 34, northeast winds 5 to 10 miles per hour, sunny, high near 64, with light and variable winds tomorrow on Friday, southwest 5 to 10 miles per hour in the afternoon. Then Friday night, mostly clear, low around 33. Allen Mountain Insurance, Amber Richardson agent, has brought to you this edition of the weather forecast. The Muletrain News is being brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. Now a message from our sponsor. Here in Muleshoe at the original Leal's, 1010 West American Boulevard, they have a new bar with a bar menu that includes domestic beers, priced very affordably, including Coors for $3.50, Miller Lite $3.50, Bud Light $3.75, Budweiser $3.75, Michelob Ultra $3.50, and Shinerbach $3.75. In their import beer menu, Corona is $4, Tecate is $2.75, Modelo $4, Modelo is special $4, Dos Equis is $4, Pacifico $4.25, Victoria is $4.25, Corona Premier is $4. On their mixed drinks, the Sangria Swirl marked at $9 now. Beer Ritas, $11.50. Sangria, $8. Sangria wine, $8. Strawberry margaritas, frozen or on the rocks, $8.50. Mango margarita, frozen or on the rocks, $8.50. House margarita, frozen or on the rocks, only $8. And the Micheladas with any beer is $8.50. That's the brand new bar menu available now when they're open at Leal's Mexican Restaurant, 1010 West American Boulevard. Victor, Debbie, Angelica, all their employees say come down and try their new bar menu available now at Leal's, the original Leal's, right here in Muleshoe, 1010 West American Boulevard. And don't forget the original Leal's right here in Muleshoe, 1010 West American Boulevard is now delivering. If you don't have anything in the fridge, they deliver to your home here in the Muleshoe area. Call 806-272-3294. Leal's of Muleshoe, the original, 1010 West American Boulevard, 806-272-3294. Well, the Texas Health Steps program keeps your child healthy and is available through the clinics at the Muleshoe Area Medical Center. Texas Health Steps is health care for children through age 20 who have Medicaid and gives your child free medical checkups starting at birth. Checkups can help find health problems before they get worse and harder to treat. Keep your little cowboy or cowgirl healthy if you have Medicaid insurance. Called Medical Clinic of Muleshoe at 806-272-7544 to schedule your child's free medical checkup. Texas Health Steps keeps your child healthy through the Muleshoe Area Medical Center. Well, the 1st of February, the UIL announced the redistricting for the coming next 2 school years, and Muleshoe in football moved down to Division II. And I think this will be very good for the Muleshoe, especially the football team. So they're 3A Division II, District 2, which will be Muleshoe, Slayton, Lubbock, Roosevelt, Littlefield, and Idalou in District 2. So not only do we go down with towns that are more our size, we stayed out of the District 1, which would be with Canadian. So again, District 2 is Idalou, Littlefield, Lubbock, Roosevelt, Muleshoe, and Slayton. So we're back in the district with Littlefield as well. In District 1, 3A Division 2 is Canadian, Childress, Dimmitt, Friona, and Tulia. In basketball, it's more similar to what we're in now. Dimmitt, Friona, Idalou, Littlefield, Lubbock, Roosevelt, Muleshoe, Shallowater, and Slayton. And so that will be the districts for football and basketball for 2024-25 school year, 2024 through the 2026 school years next year and the year after that. And again, the big change is in football. As Muleshoe goes down to Division II in 3A, District 2 will be, again, Muleshoe, Slayton, Lubbock, Roosevelt, Littlefield, and Idalou. We do have the schedule for the 2024 Muleshoe Mules varsity football, and it will look like this. They will play first on August the 30th at Brownfield. All these games will kick off at 7 p.m. Then on September the 6th, we'll be at Benny Douglas Stadium at home versus Lamesa. September the 13th, we'll play at New Home. That's a new one. Then September 20th, we'll play at Canadian, and that will be quite a drive for that one. September the 27th, at home versus Clyde, and then finish up the pre-district schedule at home on October the 4th versus Dalhart. Then district action starts. We'll be on the road on October the 11th at Lubbock Roosevelt, at home versus Littlefield on October the 18th, on October the 25th at Slayton, and then finish up with a bye week on November the 1st and November the 8th, end up at home versus Idalou. That's a 2024 Muleshoe Mules varsity football schedule. Well, the Texas primary is underway, so make sure to make your way to the second story of the Bailey County Courthouse. Early voting is going on now during the regular business hours at the courthouse and will end Friday, March the 1st next week. Election day is Tuesday, March the 5th, and early voting is going underway in both the Republican and Democratic primaries here in the state of Texas. Lots to vote for. There's a local contested race in the county commissioners, but many, many others statewide, and for our U.S. reps as well in the Republican Democratic primary. So get out and vote today. It is on the second story of the Bailey County Courthouse. Now, if you can't get up those stairs to the courthouse, you can park in that parking lot that is to the south west of the courthouse, and there is a sign in front of some of the parking spots that has a phone number you can call, and they will bring a ballot down to you so you can vote in your car in the parking lot. Again, early voting in the Texas Republican and Democratic primaries going on every day at the Bailey County Courthouse Monday through Friday, and will end Friday, March 1st. Election day in the primaries will be Tuesday, March the 5th. The fourth grade will have their annual patriotic music program, The Words We Live By. It will be performed on Friday, March the 8th at 1:45 in the afternoon at the Carrie Moore Auditorium at Muleshoe High School, and everyone is welcome. Susan White is the DeShazo music specialist and the director, and it will be a good program, and of course we will be there to film it as well if you happen to not be able to make it. But that's at March the 8th, Friday, 1:45 p.m. at the Carrie Moore Auditorium at Muleshoe High School. The fourth grade Dillman patriotic music program, The Words We Live By. Then also the day before that, on Thursday, March 7th, the second grade will have their annual PE program. It will be at the Watson Junior High School Gymnasium and performed at 6 p.m. Everyone is welcome to that as well. Of course, going on, neither of the Lady Mules or Mules basketball teams made it into the playoffs, so we're on to all of the really spring sports, and which includes baseball and softball. The Lady Mules varsity softball team is in action today on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, February 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. And they will be in action all three of those days at the Idalou tournament. So good luck to the varsity Lady Mules softball in action in the Idalou tournament. The Mules will play today on Thursday, the 22nd. In the Tulia tournament, they'll play West Texas High School at 4:45 p.m. Then Friday, February 23rd, they'll play at 10 in the morning in the Tulia tournament versus Smyre. Then Saturday, February the 24th, at 7 p.m., they will take on Lockney at the Tulia tournament. So good luck to the Mules and Lady Mules baseball and softball as they're in tournaments all this end of the week. Going on at the Bailey County Senior Center, Main and Avenue D, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., they have their workout group, A Matter of Balance, and you are welcome to join that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., Matter of Balance works out there at the Senior Center. Looking at the lunch menu, everyone is welcome as they will serve lunch on Friday, February 23rd, and have their usual fish or chicken strip meal, borracho beans, green peas, tossed vegetable salad, low-cal French dressing, whole wheat roll, tropical fruit mix. Then Monday, on the 26th of February, they'll be serving for lunch country fried beef patty, cream gravy, yellow corn, turnip greens, wheat roll, apricots. Then on Tuesday, February 27th, chicken fajitas, refried beans, white rice, tossed vegetable salad, low-cal French dressing, flour tortilla, and ambrosia. Wednesday, February 28th, chicken fried steak, mashed potatoes, country gravy, stewed okra, seasoned corn in a pumpkin square. Then Thursday, February 29th, taco salad and corn chips, seasoned corn, watermelon, and peach cobbler. That's all available at the Senior Center, Main and Avenue D. They start serving lunch around, I believe it's around 11:30 every Monday through Friday morning. The sponsor of the week at the Senior Center last week was Diane Brown. And this is Carolyn Turner riding a class act, is what she is. Diane Brown was born and raised here in Muleshoe. As a child, she enjoyed being in a large family. Diane had 4 brothers and 4 sisters. Today, only 3 of the 9 children are living. Diane was the daughter of Gladys Pryor and Bay Wilson. Her father passed away at a young age of 59. Gladys passed away in 2006 at the age of 91. Diane's grandmother was Czechoslovakian. Her name was Josie Sophia Kromchak. At the age of 15, she came to the United States as a stowaway on a ship. After arriving in the States, she settled around the area of Cotton Center, Texas. I asked Diane, besides your grandmother and your parents, were there any other individuals in your life that had a big influence on you? The first person she mentioned was a pastor named Frank Dackworth. He was a minister at the Northside Church of Christ. He was also the pastor who baptized Diane. She told me, I was so impressed with the whole family. They were all very nice, just good people. Diane met James Brown when she was in high school. They both went to West Texas State University, now called West Texas A&M in Canyon. She was a freshman there, and James was a senior. Their courtship turned into an engagement, and Diane and James were married July 8th, 1966. It was a small wedding, and they went to Colorado on their honeymoon. James's first job after he graduated from college was the Soil Conservation Service in Wellington. He was later moved to Crosbyton, where he also worked for the Soil Conservation. During this time, James and Diane were blessed with 3 lovely daughters. The first daughter was Courtney Brown Pierce, who was born in 1967. The second daughter was Jana Brown Finkley, who was born in 1968. The last daughter, Debbie Brown Schultz, was born in 1970. After all 3 girls started school, which was in 1976, Diane went to work for Dell Oil Company. She left that job in 2002 and started her own career selling Mary Kay products. She was most successful as she was one of the few who was awarded a red Pontiac Vibe. Winning the car is based on sales and the amount of money earned per quarter. Today, Diane is still selling Mary Kay products. One of the toughest times in Diane's life was when she lost her daughter, Jana, to cancer. Jana had 2 children, and after her death, their father, Scott Finkley, raised their son and daughter and currently are living in Spring. Diane went on to tell me that she literally packed up and moved to Spring so she could spend the last days with her daughter, Jana. Diane said that she was grateful that she got to live with Jana and her family the last 6 months of her life. Diane told me that she was fortunate to have her other 2 daughters still in her life. Debbie has given Diane 5 grandchildren, and Courtney has given her 2 grandchildren. Jana has had 2 children who still live in Spring. James and Diane were honored to receive the Farm Family of the Year award in 1976 from the Muleshoe Chamber of Commerce. At the same chamber banquet, Diane received the Employee of the Year. She was working for Dell Oil at the time. Diane told me that some of the greatest times in their life was the cruises she and James went on together. There were many of them: Tahiti, Ireland, the Western Mediterranean, and many more. While James was on the Cotton Incorporated board, he and Diane got to go on 4 trips per year for 15 years to cities across the southern United States of America. Unfortunately, James passed away in 2016, about a year after losing her daughter. And to make matters worse, the Brown family had just celebrated James and Diane's 50th anniversary a short time before his death. But Diane has persevered. She is still selling her Mary Kay products and spends time enjoying the fellowship and activities at the Bailey County Senior Citizen Center. I can vouch for the fact that Diane is a great pool player. When at the center, she comes out the winner many times. Diane also enjoys bowling and is in on the bowling league in Clovis, New Mexico. She bowls there every week. Diane says that she has no regrets of growing up in a large family. As a child, she said, I often wondered what it would be like to take piano lessons or do the things I saw other children doing, but I understood that in a large family, the money is not always there. Diane is an individual who understands that life happens. When a trial comes into her life, she chooses strength. When gloom and doom sometimes get her down, she chooses laughter. And when life has given her a reason to cry, she shows us all how to smile. We are fortunate to have Diane at our center. Thank you, Diane, for all you do for your loved ones, your friends, your community, and our center. You are truly one of the blessings God has sent our way. And that's Diane Brown, the Bailey County Senior Center sponsor of the week for last week, and a story written by Carolyn Turner about her. Now, the sponsor of the week this week is, let me see, it is Kirk and Cheryl Lewis, and this is a story written about them by Annette Orozco called Second Chances. This week's sponsor of the week is near and dear to my heart. I don't remember a time in my life when I didn't know her. Please join me in thanking Kirk and Cheryl Lewis for being this week's sponsor of the week. They have been married almost 32 years and have 3 children and their spouses and 7 grandchildren scattered from Dallas to Saginaw, Texas, to Brookfield, Wisconsin. After being country folks for 30 years, they moved to town about a year ago and are officially city slickers with their 3 fur babies. Kirk is a proud graduate of Texas A&M class of '82. His work history includes working for Martin Feed and Cattle, Texas Agricultural Extension Service, Farming in the Wild Community, the Texas Boll Weevil Eradication Foundation, C&H Equipment, Rayleigh Equipment, and is currently employed by Xcel Energy Southwestern Public Service Tolk Station. Kirk said this is the best job he could have imagined. Cheryl worked several years at City Hall here in Muleshoe and managed apartment complexes when she lived in Amarillo. When Cheryl moved back to Muleshoe, she worked for the Farm Service Agency for 9 years, and that is where she and Kirk became reacquainted. In February of 1999, Cheryl went to work for Savage Tolk as coordinator, and last week on Valentine's Day, she celebrated her 25th anniversary with the company. She loves her job and works with great people and loves what she does. Kirk grew up farming with his dad, Leon Lewis. In 1974, Mr. Lewis lost his leg in a farming accident, and the wonderful friends and neighbors from the wild community pitched in to help Kirk complete the crop. Talk about initiation by fire. Cheryl's first job was also farming with her family, and she decided real quick she wanted a town job, so she went to work at Gibson's her junior year in high school. When asked what got you into your industry, Kirk replied, my brother-in-law, Bruce, badgered me for years to apply. It is truly the best job and has been the biggest blessing for our family. Bruce would have been with Xcel Energy 25 years this year. Cheryl began working for Savage because of a recommendation from her sister-in-law, who was vacating that position. Ellen was getting married and moving to Oklahoma. Kirk's proudest moments of his career are learning about farming, retail, and energy supply, which gave him diversity in job and life experiences. However, showing the champion Angus steer that his brother Ronald selected and raised for Grand Champion in the Astrodome was pretty cool. Cheryl is most proud of the spreadsheets she has created that have made processes more efficient across the Savage network. She has an uncanny ability to see organizational processes and put them into a spreadsheet to make the process more efficient. I call her the Excel guru. She calls herself a spreadsheet nerd. When it comes to the mentors, Kirk said there were too many to mention. He has been blessed with great people at all of his jobs, but his parents gave him the foundation by showing and doing the right thing in all situations. The Lewises were great people. Cheryl's greatest mentor was our dad, Cliff Crabtree. He gave the best advice and had so much joy for life, and he loved our family. Daddy could tell a great story, too. Cheryl and Kirk share a passion for NASCAR. Oh my goodness, do they love NASCAR. Cheryl loves her flowers and plants. If you were ever in her house, you could see that for yourself. She loves her sunroom, which is full of plants and flowers. Come summer, her yard is a showplace. Kirk's passion is becoming more involved in local and state policy making to help influence how our government responds and serves its constituents, and realizing the citizen is the sovereign in our representative republic. Kirk is a member of the Bailey County Farm Bureau Board, Bailey County Republican Party Precinct 2 Chair. Cheryl and Kirk are both very patriotic and stand for our Constitution as it is written. The best thing about being part of this community for Kirk is knowing so many high-quality, good people, and a few old soreheads too. For Cheryl, this community is the best. We recently lost our brother, and the outpouring of love and support was phenomenal. Muleshoe is our home, and we are proud to be a part of it. And that is the sponsor of the week for this week at the Bailey County Senior Citizen Center, Kirk and Cheryl Lewis. And that was a story entitled Second Chances, written by Annette Orozco, who is, of course, Cheryl's sister and the director down at the Senior Center right now. Well, on your prayer list today, please keep B.J. Medford on your prayer list, Mac McLeod, Paul Hammer, Colleen Saylor and Scott Saylor, Carolyn Kaufman, Richard Kaufman, Peggy Clay, Joseph Carpenter. Frankie Carpenter needs to always be on your prayer list. Remember Sammy Gonzalez, along with Rowena Myers and Suzanne Nichols, Robert Johnson, Jerome Clements, Cliff Black. Keep Bird and Larry Combs on your prayer list, Terry Byers. Remember Melba King, Tom and Linda Watson, Judy Griswold, and remember Dorothy and Dr. David Wire, Kearney Scoggin, Ed and Carol Cox down in the Houston area, Carolyn Stovall, Betty Noble, Joe Jinks. Keep all of these people on your prayer list today. Well, it's just about time for us to go on this edition of the Muletrain News Program, brought to you today by Leal's Mexican Restaurant. You can hear our latest Muletrain News Program, along with all our older archived ones, available free of charge on demand on our website, muleshoetv.com. Click on the Muletrain News link at the top center of our front page.
This is Tumbleweed Smith, a World War II exhibit in Gilmer. Details in a moment on The Sound of Texas.
The Sound of Texas is brought to you here on MuleshoeTV.com by Bailey County Electric Cooperative Association, with offices in Muleshoe at 610 East American Boulevard, as well as in Morton at 1744 State Highway 114. They're celebrating rural electrification right here in the Muleshoe area through Bailey County Electric since 1939. They are owned by the members that they serve. Call 806-272-4504. Check them out online at BCEC. COOP.com. The board of directors, the members, the employees, the manager, CEO David Markle, all hope you enjoy this Sound of Texas with Tumbleweed Smith.
When the newspaper in Gilmer, the Gilmer Mirror, put out a call for World War II items to be placed in the museum for an exhibit, all kinds of things were donated.
Helmets and uniforms, handguns, rifles, diary from a person that kept a diary during the Japanese imprisonment, just various things, pictures, ID cards from that period, newspaper articles that are quite extensive.
Sarah Dumas of the historic Upshur Museum recalls the start of World War II.
I was sitting in the floor looking at the funny papers from the Dallas Morning News and chattering away, and my dad said, shh, shh, there's news, there's news. And it was the declaration of war. The Japanese had bombed Pearl Harbor. It came over the radio, and I didn't understand what it meant then, but I later understood it.
She says there were inconveniences.
Gas rationing, shoe rationing. Even then, I had a shoe fetish. Sugar was rationed. People used other things to sweeten their tea, and we did okay, but it did impact our lives. We ended up moving into town from the farm because of the gas rationing, and my dad bought a Model A, sold his 1941 Ford, and bought a Model A car that could run on kerosene.
Citizens collected paper and metal for the war effort.
Oh, yes. We even would gather up cotton rags, and the Gilmer Mirror would buy those because they were used to make paper. And people that had old worn-out sheets or shirts that, worn out, they would take those cotton things down to the Mirror, and they'd buy them by the pound. And we would gather up, even take the tinfoil off of Wrigley's chewing gum, peel it off of the paper, and take it and turn it in. And we would find old plowshares buried down in the garden somewhere. We'd take those. It all was part of the war effort to support our country and having enough metal and aluminum. And we couldn't get Kleenex. That was another big thing, that after the war, the first Kleenex, was just like a godsend.
Sarah Dumas serves on the city council in Gilmer. I'm Tumbleweed Smith with the Sound of Texas.